Hello and welcome back to my channel. I am Mercedes and this is the Frugal Life with Mercedes. So I bet a lot of you did not know that you can freeze eggs. I'm sure you guys knew that you can freeze cooked eggs because they have breakfast burritos that you can get pre-made or breakfast sandwiches, and there's been a lot of trends on social media on how to make breakfast sandwiches and breakfast burritos at home. But you can freeze raw eggs as well. I have been doing this for years. I have to admit I have not done it super recently, but that is because, as I've shared in other videos, Brandon and I go through eggs like crazy and there hasn't been a need to freeze them. If you guys have been with me for a really long time, you know that I used to go to the food pantry, and sometimes when you go to the food pantry you get things that are really close to date. So I would get some eggs, but they were either past date or really close to date or what have you, and you can eat eggs past their expiration date. I suggest you guys do your research on that, but if it's super past or you don't think you're going to go through them, because there are people that don't really like to eat eggs but they will cook with them, so it just depends on your prerogative and your household. But you can take eggs, crack them into either a like a muffin tin or a I almost said Q-tip, I don't know why, or an ice cube tray, or even something like this. This is like like a mold for these are for like little tea cakes, but they're nice because it's silicone, so you can just pop them right out. So you want to crack the egg into a dish of some kind and pour it into things individually. Or you can, if you're using like just egg yolks in a recipe or egg whites, you could always put the rest of the egg in Ziploc bags and just freeze it like that. But I do suggest doing it flat just because it'll save room in your freezer. Now, just a disclaimer, I have read online before that if you are doing yolks, like eggs with the yolk, with the yolk on it and not just an egg white, you do want to do a sprinkle of salt because the freezer can sometimes change the texture of the yolk. Now, I have never sprinkled salt on my eggs before I put them in the freezer, and I have never had an issue with texture of the eggs or anything like that, but you guys might want to play around with it. And you can then, after let's say you're using this to freeze your eggs, you freeze them flat, and then you can pop them out of here or take them out of the ice cube tray or whatever it is that you put them in, and you can stack them up nicely in a Tupperware container or a Ziploc bag, and they are good in the freezer for up to a year. It is recommended that you use them within 4 months, but they are safe to eat up to a year. And why would you want to do this? As I said, if something is coming close to date, you don't want to be throwing away eggs. You guys, I did a Walmart video a little while back, not too far back, and I paid $20 for 60 eggs, and I was hot. I was hot about that. In the words of my grandmother say hot. I'm hot about it, like, angry. And with egg prices like that, I'm not playing around. Like, I'm not throwing away eggs, which I don't to begin with. But you don't want to be throwing away your eggs. You want to use them. Come on. Now, another option is, let's say you're not really comfortable freezing a raw egg for whatever reason. I would definitely cook them up in a muffin tin so that they're round and you can do them as little sandwiches. Or make a big batch of freezer burritos, or like I said, like egg sandwiches, different things like that. Do not throw away those eggs. Okay, guys, don't do it. I also have read online in the past, I've never done this, but I've read this, that you can take the like cooked egg, like I guess like a hard-boiled egg or whatever, and you can freeze that and let it thaw out on your, let it thaw out later when you want to use it, and you can use it I guess for not chicken salad, egg salad or what have you. Now again, guys, this is just things that you're going to want to experiment with. So maybe freeze an egg or two and kind of play around with it and see if the texture changes or what you can do with it. But I think freezing raw eggs is a great option. I also know for a fact that when you freeze the egg and it thaws, there is a little bit of moisture on it, and so it does make the egg and whatever you're cooking, let's say you're making a casserole or a cake, it actually makes it more moist because of that water, that extra water that is on the egg. So just something that I've been thinking about. I'm surprised that I've never shared this before. And also when I used to go to the food pantry, you guys might remember this if you've been with me for a really long time, as I said, we used to get these cartons of eggs, and it's like the liquid egg, but they were like big yellow cartons, and I used to freeze those, and it would actually say on the carton, do not freeze, but I did anyway. And at one point I had a bunch of them in my freezer, and I would pull them out and I would use them for baking, and I would do big batches of cookies and that kind of thing, and I really miss those eggs. That was nice. That was nice to have them in the freezer like that. But just some options, guys, okay? So something to kind of try. If there's something that you use on a regular basis, but you feel like you're not using it efficiently or you're not using it in the right allotted amount of time and it doesn't come in anything smaller, try to get creative with how you can freeze it or preserve it so that you're not throwing it away. Okay, guys? So thank you so much for watching. Please consider subscribing to my channel. If you did not know, I have an Instagram, The Frugal Life with Mercedes. Until next time, guys, bye.